welcome to Music Motors and welcome to this, the 2018 Peugeot 5008. Now, talking a bit of history with Peugeot, you kind of have the impression that, especially with their early 2000s models, that, you know, the electrics weren't so good, they weren't reliable, and generally it was a cheaper car. That was sad because their earlier heritage, before that, their late 80s, early 90s, they made great cars. But you'll be glad to hear that Peugeot are back and they are making better cars than ever before, which are really attractive, more attractive than ever before, because this is a superb looking machine. 5008 is a 7-seater family car. So this is powered by a 4-cylinder 2-litre diesel, which produces 180 brake horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque. It gets to 62 miles an hour in about 10 seconds. It could be a little bit quicker, because on paper I actually think this car is quicker than it actually is. It tops out at around about 124 miles an hour and should turn around 60 plus miles per gallon combined on a run. Fuel economy is an important factor, and I've actually never driven this car distance yet. At this point you're watching this, the car has just been delivered, so I have no anticipations of what's going to happen, and let's just see. But I am driving to Bristol. I have arrived at my location, and the summary, the amazing thing is I actually achieved 44.3 miles per gallon, which, considering the pace I was going at, proper motorway pace, and constantly trying to make sure that I get to my destination in good time, is really good, especially when you also consider it's a 7-seater. Starting outside, it is a really interesting French design, bold as always, but quite pretty. The front end especially is very nicely put together. With the GT line you do get extra exterior finishing touches, such as the mirror finish cover over your wing mirrors, and generally a bit of a sportier look on the outside. The interesting thing is that the back, the lights are kind of a very typically now Peugeot design, which I think works really well. However, I do find the back of this car isn't quite as attractive as the front. Put the whole thing together and you do get a superbly good looking car from the outside. Move inside and you move into a world of luxury, because the old idea of Peugeot having cheap interiors is long gone. This is a luxurious and comfortable place to be for you and your family, or you and your luggage. So this being the GT, it does get leather seats all round. The driver's seat is heated and has massage. The passenger seat does have just heating, but massage function is an option to have put in on the passenger seat. In the back you can set up the seats exactly as you want, and every seat can be moved to be adjusted to keep the kids away from one another. It's quiet and a comfortable place to be, with good visibility all round, especially with Peugeot's new cockpit design to keep everything low so you can see everything. The Focal sound system, a £600 option, is worth every penny because it's absolutely superb. It's really punchy with great subwoofer, but then equally doesn't become shrill and full of mids when you crank it up. It's a very capable system, especially when you consider that £600 in BMW will barely get you Harman Kardon, which for me isn't nearly as good as this Focal sound system. This is a business car, a family car, an everyday car, and it's a 7-seater, so it takes quite a lot of stuff. But just how much stuff of mine can it take without hesitation? Extra interior features include scented air, which is new to me and I think is absolutely perfect, especially in a press car which has been filled with stinky journalists week and week on. When you want to talk performance and economy, well, 180 brake horsepower, gets to 60 miles an hour in about 10 seconds, and again tops out about 124, 125 miles an hour. The impressive thing is though, this is a big heavy car. It does have an 8-speed auto box, and that 8-speed auto box is actually very responsive. You'll find yourself actually pulling away off the mark very quickly. You only notice the weight of the car at around 40 miles an hour because it's actually very nimble. Economy wise, it entirely depends how you drive, because on the first day I had this, I drove it about 180 to 200 miles and I only saw 42-ish miles per gallon. It could have been more, I can't remember, but that wasn't ideal considering what was written down. But I then go on and I do another test and suddenly you're into the 50s, and I thought if I knocked it down really well, I didn't have any traffic, then this was easily seeing 50s going up to 60s without failure. So to have an engine which can get you out of a situation quite well with a very responsive gearbox, it makes it great. And now with everything in the back, the gig test. So that's more about a small amount of luggage capacity, comfort in driving and fuel economy when driving. This isn't going to be so much of a hectic journey, so there's a good chance I can knock the speed back down to about 65 miles an hour, and then to see what combined fuel economy you get when you drive at 65 instead of 70. Including a little stop off to take some pictures and get surrounded by cows and horses and donkeys in the New Forest. I turned around 51.9 miles per gallon, which is a combined, which for a car of this size, to be able to turn that around on a semi-regular basis, and that was sitting at 65 to 70 miles an hour with, you know, I'm not having to slow down and overtake constantly like I do on the fuel economy challenge on the first part of this anyway, but that's really good. Prices, this is where I guess the fact of it being a better Peugeot comes in. This one is almost £38,000 on the road. Base prices aren't around that, but if you want a GT and you want this luxurious interior, you want the metallic paintwork, £500. You want the vocal sound system, £600. But the rest of it is standard on the GT. So for £37,900, that's what I think it says on my piece of paper down here. That's everything, that's the on-the-road price. This isn't an expensive car to tax, it isn't an expensive car to run, insure, anything. But equally, it's really luxurious, and I think this is going up in the world with keeping up with really luxurious crossover SUVs. We are talking Audi and BMW level quality. The only thing I don't like is that some of the interior plastics are a little bit cheaper than I'd like. But then again, if you pay for an Audi, you pay an extra £8,000 to not have that cheap plastic. And from that driving point of view, it's very direct, the steering's light and comfortable. You do have a sport mode that you can put on, which means that as you're going along you can have a bit more steering feel, and it pumps in some fake noise to give you that GT driving experience. But otherwise it's a really comfortable and capable car to drive on the motorway or around town. Visibility is great, and well, the surround view cameras mean that you don't get stuck going into spaces either. So to summarise, Peugeot have upped their game and they've changed what I even considered of Peugeot by creating a 7-seater family car which is stylish, capable, comfortable, smells great on the inside, gets you really good fuel economy, can give you some fun driving experiences, but equally doesn't break the bank to, as I say, is to run, to get it places, to insure it. The only place that I feel it's a bit expensive is on the initial buying cost. Just shy of £40,000 is a lot of money for a Peugeot, but when you consider that now, that's not a negative thing. This is a fantastic car. I think it's worth every single penny.